The hum of the fluorescent light flickered above the interrogation room. Detective Evelyn Carter sat across from the woman who had been occupying too many of her thoughts. Opposite her, Camille Laurent, a suspect wrapped in mystery, leaned back into her chair, an amused smirk playing at the corner of her lips. Evelyn had been a police officer for nearly 2 decades. She had seen liars, thieves, and criminals of all sorts, but there was something different about Camille. The evidence didn't quite align, and deep down, Evelyn suspected Camille might not be guilty at all. But it wasn't just the case that was tying her in knots, it was Camille herself. Camille, dressed in a deep red satin dress that accentuated her elegance, crossed her legs. "You've been staring at me for a while, detective," she teased, her voice like silk in the dimly lit room. Evelyn cleared her throat, gripping the case file. "I'm just trying to understand you." Camille chuckled softly, fingers tracing the table's edge. "And have you figured me out yet?" Truthfully, Evelyn wasn't sure if she wanted to. Camille's confidence was intoxicating, the way she carried herself as if always in control. After hours of questioning, the room felt smaller, the air heavier. Evelyn folded her hands on the table. "Tell me, Camille, why do I feel like you're playing a game?" Camille leaned in, their faces mere inches apart. "Because you enjoy the chase, detective, and I enjoy watching you chase." A slow heat crept up Evelyn's neck, but she didn't let it show. This was unprofessional, and yet the electricity between them was undeniable. Days passed, and Evelyn found herself drawn to Camille in ways she couldn't explain. Yet when evidence surfaced that proved Camille's innocence, Evelyn felt a strange mix of relief and disappointment. As the sun set over the city, Evelyn walked Camille out of the precinct. "Looks like you're free to go," she said, hands resting on her belt. Camille turned to her, amusement flickering in her dark eyes. "You almost sound disappointed." Evelyn let out a short laugh. "Maybe I am. You did make my job more interesting." Camille reached up, gently brushing a loose strand of hair behind Evelyn's ear. "Then let me make your night interesting too. Have a drink with me." It was reckless, but for once, Evelyn didn't want to be just a detective. She wanted to be a woman, standing in front of another woman who made her feel alive. Hours later, they sat in Evelyn's police car parked near the waterfront. The city lights reflected off the water, casting a soft glow inside the vehicle. Camille laughed, head tilted back. "I can't believe you actually arrested me." Evelyn rolled her eyes but couldn't suppress her own laughter. "I was doing my job, and you were making it very difficult." Camille turned to her, eyes gleaming. "And now? What are you doing now, detective?" Evelyn met her gaze. "Breaking all the rules, apparently." Camille reached out, fingers grazing Evelyn's cheek before cupping the back of her neck. Slowly, deliberately, she leaned in. Evelyn didn't stop her. Didn't want to. When their lips met, it was slow, unhurried, yet filled with unspoken promises. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't just a fleeting moment. It was the start of something neither of them had been expecting. Weeks turned into months, and what began as stolen glances and cautious meetings evolved into something real. Evelyn found herself laughing more, feeling lighter. Camille, for all her playfulness, was just as captivated by the detective who had once been so determined to unravel her. One evening, as they drove through the city in Evelyn's patrol car, Camille turned to her with a smile. "So do I get a siren escort home every night now?" Evelyn smirked. "That depends. Are you planning on committing more crimes?" Camille leaned closer, her lips brushing against Evelyn's ear. "Only the kind that make you fall harder for me." And just like that, beneath the sirens and city lights, a love neither of them had planned for continued to grow. Time moved forward. but the connection between them only deepened. Evelyn, once bound by rigid discipline, found herself embracing the spontaneity Camille brought into her life. They traveled, explored, and built something neither had dared to dream before. One evening, as they sat on a quiet balcony overlooking the city, Camille took Evelyn's hand, tracing circles on her palm. "Do you ever regret it? Choosing me over the rules?" Evelyn smiled, pressing a kiss to Camille's knuckles. "I never broke the rules, Camille. I just rewrote them for us." A gentle breeze carried their laughter into the night, sealing the love story they had never expected but would always cherish.